Previously in Chapter 1, Echoes of Empire. Cameron Cole stood at the peak of the world. Music mogul, cultural icon, untouchable. The night of the Grammys, he owned the stage. By morning, he was found murdered in his own penthouse, the city in shock. But in the shadows, Detective Aria Monroe watched it all unfold. Not with surprise, but with purpose. Because long before the world loved Cameron, she remembered who he really was. And this wasn't just a murder. It was the first move in a plan years in the making. Chapter 2, broken glass, and the security room was a coffin. No windows, no ventilation, just walls lined with flickering monitors, each one a broken promise of surveillance and safety. Aria Monroe stood in the center, arms folded tight, the stale air pressing down on her like a physical weight. Across from her, the building concierge shifted nervously in his chair, his uniform rumpled, sweat beading along his brow. "You're telling me the cameras just stopped working?" Aria said, voice low, dangerous. The boy, and he was just a boy, barely old enough to shave, nodded frantically. Power surged during the party. The backup generators kicked in late. We lost about 45 minutes of footage. Aria stared at him, not blinking, not speaking, letting the silence peel his excuses away like old paint. Bryce leaned in the doorway behind her, flipping through a clipboard, pretending not to enjoy the slow unraveling. "That's convenient," Bryce said dryly. 45 minutes. Right when the King of Empire gets murdered. The boy swallowed hard, Adam's apple bobbing. "I don't know anything else, I swear." "I just run the desk, ma'am." Aria finally moved, stalking toward the wall of monitors. Static washed across half of them. Digital snow blurring the penthouse entrances, the private elevators, even the damn stairwells. But one feed was intact. The service elevators. She played the loop again. Paused, rewound. Watched. 2:12 a.m., catering crew leaving. 2:18 a.m., housekeeping clearing the upper floors. 2:23 a.m., a figure. Blurred, unmarked. Moving cleanly through the frame. No face, no ID badge. No uniform, just a shadow slipping past like smoke. Bryce stepped closer, squinting at the feed. "Any way to enhance that?" Aria shook her head. They knew where the blind spots were, they knew the patterns. This wasn't a fan breaking in drunk and screaming. This was planned. Bryce shifted uncomfortably. "You think Mona's smart enough to pull that off?" Aria didn't answer immediately. She watched the screen, watched the shadow slip out of frame like it had never existed. Finally, she said, "No." The boy in the chair burst out suddenly, words tumbling over each other. There was a guy earlier that night. He didn't come in through the main floor. He had some kind of badge, not Empire staff, not catering. Aria's head snapped around. "Describe him." I don't know." Black hoodie. Earpiece. He said he was with private event security. I didn't want to argue. They were all flashing badges and shouting about VIPs. The boy's voice cracked on the last word. Guilt, fear, both. Aria turned back to the monitors. Private event security, or something pretending to be. Cipher? She dropped the clipboard onto the desk with a thud. Pull every name logged through that door. Cross-check it against the guest list. Bryce frowned. That's 300 names. Then start with the ones who don't exist. In her gut, Aria already knew. Celebrity. They wanted to erase something. Clean surgical final. Whoever walked into Cameron Cole's penthouse didn't just want to kill the Empire had fallen, but the architects were still in the walls. Watching. Waiting. As she left the room, her phone buzzed against her hip. A single text. No number, no sender. Just words. "You're already too late." Aria stared at the screen until it dimmed, burning the message into her brain like an afterimage. Too late for Cameron, too late for Mona. Too late for herself. She pocketed the phone without replying. The city outside was waking up, bright, hungry, blind. But inside Aria Monroe, something colder was rising. Not grief, not guilt. Resolve. And if the Empire thought it could erase her, it was about to learn. Some ghosts don't haunt. They hunt. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the continuation of Echoes of Empire by Romulus Black.